Let's go back to the year 1750 to the Admiral Benbow Inn. It's where Jim Hawkins works and it's owned by his father. One day, when Jim was working at the inn, a mysterious stranger arrived. He was tall and strong, wearing an old blue coat and had a scar on his face. He looked around and said, "This looks like a nice place. I think I'll settle here." Then he asked Jim to take his big box up to his room and told everyone to call him Captain. He stayed at the inn for several months. The captain was a quiet man, always wandering around the nearby shores and cliffs. He often asked if there were any sailors visiting the inn. People thought he wanted company, but it turned out he didn't want to be found. One day, while the captain was walking on the beach, a strange, pale man with 3 fingers on his left hand entered the inn. He asked for someone named Bill, but Jim told him there was no one by that name staying there, only the captain. The pale man claimed Bill was his friend, even suggesting he himself was the captain. Jim agreed and told him that the captain went to walk on the beach. When the captain came back to the inn and saw the man, he seemed shocked and called him Black Dog. But it wasn't an insult, it was his name. As Jim left them to talk, he heard them shouting and saw Black Dog running away with blood on his arm. The captain suddenly collapsed, appearing very ill. Fortunately, Dr. Livesey arrived just in time to see Jim's father, who was sick. The doctor reassured Jim and his mother that the captain wasn't wounded, but rather very ill. He prescribed medicine and advised the captain to rest in bed for at least a week. During that week, the captain shared stories of his sea adventures with Jim, mentioning that he had something valuable that people wanted. But tragedy struck when Jim's father passed away suddenly. Overwhelmed with grief, Jim forgot all the stories the captain had shared with him. A week after his father's death, Jim saw a blind man wandering towards the inn, asking for directions. Jim directed him to the inn, and the blind man asked to see the captain immediately. When they reached the captain's room, the blind man handed him something and left. Then the captain said, "10 o'clock, I've got time," and then suddenly collapsed dead. Realizing they were in danger, Jim and his mother found a key in the captain's coat. They discovered clothes, guns, papers, and money in the box. Remembering the blind man's warning, they knew they had until 10 o'clock before the blind man and the Black Dog returned. Jim took the paper from the box, and he and his mother decided to flee to the neighboring village. As they hurried along the road, they heard footsteps behind them. Jim refused to leave his mother alone, so they stopped under a bridge where they could hide in the darkness.
وبكده أعزائي طلبة الصف الأول الثانوي، دي كانت أحداث الفصل الأول. يا ترى دلوقتي إيه اللي هيحصل؟ هل حد هيكتشف جيم ومامته وهم مستخبيين تحت الجسر؟ ومين الناس اللي جايين وراهم دول؟ تساؤلات كتير بتدور في ذهن جيم ومامته وهم كاتمين نفسهم ومبرقين في الضلمة. ما تفوتوش أحداث الفصل الجاي من جزيرة الكنز عشان تعرفوا إيه اللي حصل معاهم.